There's a great story about Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, who every couple weeks or so would ditch the comfort of his bed in order to sleep on a naked floor. At the same time, there were other Stoic philosophers who would walk outside in the cold winter days, barely dressed in any clothes, while others who would practice fasting for days, long before we knew about all the health benefits of that. And so why would they do that? Back then already, 2,000 years ago, they were afraid that the comfort and the ease of daily lives would make their minds and characters weak. If we fast forward to today, exactly that has happened. We live in this elevator mindset, this elevator society where instead of taking the stairs, we take the elevator. Instead of going on an actual diet or eating real food, we go for the hacks, we go for the diet pills. Instead of completing an actual workout, we just ask, what's the least I can do to sort of get by? Instead of doing deep work, we focus on trivial distractions. The big problem is that when the tough times come, we're desperately unprepared for them. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, once said that if we want to win the battles and the wars in the summer, which back then wars were fought in the summer because there was no snow and so you could travel from village to village. If you want to win the battles in the summer, you've got to get wintered, he said. You've got to use the winter, the easy times or the peaceful times, in order to prepare for the times that are going to be tough. There's another great ancient warrior creed which says, the more you'll sweat in practice, the less you'll bleed in war. That's a reality of our situation. If we don't prepare during the winter, during the easy times of life, then in the summer when there's wartime, we're not going to be prepared and we're going to be bleeding to death. We're going to be suffering. If you don't take the easy times of your life, where everything's flowing and everything's going smoothly, if you don't take those times and deliberately seek out discomfort, seek out pain, then what's going to happen is when life throws rocks at you, when there's obstacles towards your goals, when there's loss, when there's suffering, when there's difficulty, when there's health challenges, when you lose a relationship or a business, whatever it is, you're going to be knocked off your feet because you're not used to dealing with negative emotions. You're not used to dealing with adversity. You're not used to dealing with something standing in your face, and you need to learn how to overcome that. And so the only way to do that is by getting wintered. So how do we do that? Well, there's a couple things I already mentioned here. Sleeping on the bare floor is a great one. A while back, I actually did this for 2 months straight. I had a tiny yoga mat, but for 2 months straight, I was sleeping on this tiny yoga mat. And I realized a couple things. First of all, it really sucks. My back was hurting, my shoulders, when I tried to roll over, my quality of sleep decreased. And so I wouldn't recommend it for that long. Maybe a day or two, definitely not for 2 months. But what I did realize is, first of all, it builds incredible mental strength. You gain self-control when you decide that, hey, here's my bed and here's my yoga mat. I'm going to choose the yoga mat. You gain incredible sense of self-control and self-worth. And also, what I did realize is I become so much more grateful every time I actually get in a bed. Now when I'm traveling, sometimes there's beds that aren't that great, right? And before that, I might have been like, oh man. Now, I'm so grateful for any kind of bed because however bad it is still much better than sleeping on the yoga mat. And so this is really a great way to practice this self-control and practice mental fortitude. Another great way, fasting, right? If you and I had this for a long time in my life, I had a very bad relationship with food, right? I would eat junk food, chocolate and cookies and gummy bears, anytime that I would feel a little bit bad about life or myself or anything else. And so one way that I used to overcome that was by deliberately going on fasting, right? By saying, hey, 24 hours, 48 hours, 5 days even, no food, right? And sometimes I would even buy these chocolate cakes, for example, and just stare at them, right? I put them right in front of my face, stare at them, look at it, smell it in order to increase the temptation, and then still say, no, I'm not going to eat it though. What that does is it builds incredible sense of control over your impulses, over your emotions, over your thoughts and behaviors. And that's exactly what you need. Same thing for working out. Instead of asking yourself, hey, what's the least I can do to sort of get by and get my beach body? Ask yourself, what's the most I can handle? How much more can I do? How much more can I lift? How many more miles can I run? How much can I break myself down so that afterwards I will rebuild myself again? This is getting wintered in practice. And it really is this simple. It's these very simple routines. How you sleep, how you eat, how you move your body, how you connect with others, how much you work today towards your goals, how much you study. You can use this in so many different fields. But really I want to challenge you to start thinking about this concept of getting wintered, of sweating in practice so you bleed less and more. Because then when adversity and problems and challenges inevitably come in your life, because they will for all of us, instead of giving up, instead of breaking like most people do, you'll simply move forward. See you guys soon.